So this video, I wasn't sure if I want to react to it, but I kind of do because I used to be really into MapleStory. Not so much nowadays, but like, man, this game destroyed at least 3 years of my life. So I figured we can at least take a look. And this is MapleStory director has a disastrous live stream. Let's take a look.
Hey YouTube, Coppersan here, it's drama time! There was enough rage today to cause the director of MapleStory, Wonky, to stare off in silence, private a livestream where they talked about the current situation, and later issue an apology on the MapleStory creator.
I've never heard of a live stream from a dev going this freaking bad. To where it stun locked him, the stream went down, and they had to issue an apology. What the hell? Let's see if we can read this. We sincerely apologize for disappointing the Warriors who took their precious time to watch live broadcast. Due to insufficient preparation for this broadcast, I was unable to convey all the stories I had prepared to tell the Warriors, and it abruptly hurting me for my incorrect choice of words. Let's see here. Future MapleStory. Next bait. Left a big scar in my heart. Myself, never take lightly the experience you get through MapleStory and the efforts and affection you pour into it. Like, that's true. Like, people will still play MapleStory, especially like people who are at the very high end. The amount of dedication they have for this game is just crazy.
Website. So, what the heck happened? This all started.
I'm guessing he probably said, like, we don't see a future for MapleStory or something like that.
Because a lot of MapleStory Korea players realized what MapleStory global players already knew for quite a while. Playing on the reboot server, kinda worth it. Regular server players have to sink a lot of money on their items with cubes, and endgame gear is untradeable once.
And for people who don't know, MapleStory is extremely pay to win, but they do have a server, I believe, called Reboot, where it's not pay to win, or at least not even close to as much as pay to win, and it's more of a time sink than a money sink.
It has been equipped. While on Reboot, stuff is already untradeable anyway, but hey, there's the benefit that you don't have to spend any actual money or merch a lot to cube your gear, it's just a matter of time. Because of this sudden realization and some new videos of MapleStory Korea players showing their progression and how far they made it in the Reboot server in like a year, MapleStory Korea players are flocking to Reboot to start their journey there, as it's just a generally better experience for their wallets and in the end also time. So because of this player uproar, Maplers were asking Nexon to help alleviate some of the regular server issues and game scaling problems compared to the regular server, and to also ask for improvements for regular server progression, because, you know, it's been a while since there was anything done for Reboot specifically. So director Wonky held a livestream today to discuss what's up. However, that livestream went down south fast, and is now actually privated.
I'm assuming what happened is they probably have no plans to do anything with the Reboot servers because it doesn't make them as much money as the other ones. Because like I said, it's not as pay to win.
From the MapleStory YouTube channel. Wonky had to take several breaks to recollect himself after getting emotional from the constant bombardment of feedback from Maplers. The Korean Maplers were not happy. From what I've gathered, the MapleStory director expressed there was no plans to change anything related to the non-tradability of these endgame items, which no one really liked from the regular servers, or to change anything for the way Reboot progression is set out, which was then also badly received, as like I said, it's been a while since there had been any improvements done for Reboot progression in general, like the final damage changes that we had already a while ago. But yeah, not much else was being done, so basically a big uproar, and Wonky just went live and said, it's all about fun, don't take it too serious, man, it's just a game. So both regular server and Reboot players were quite...
You don't want to hear that from the, like, the director of the game. Jesus.
Pissed. Then Wonky mentioned that there were some ideas floating around when 5th Job Advancement was released to monetize some of the 5th Job features, like upgrading your arcane symbols that you had to pay Maple points or any cash for that, which was weird. It left a bad taste to some Maplers, as it
basically said they're going to add more pay to win for the very end game content.
It sounded like he was trying to win back favor on his side by explaining something that he had done, and like, hey guys, it's not all about monetization. Look, we wanted to monetize this really core feature of the game, but we didn't. And
okay, so I thought he was saying he was gonna do that. Yeah, man, that's we weren't we were gonna monetize it, but we decided against it. Yeah, because you'd lose like half your players, maybe more.
Was kind of sus. And then to make things worse, he then mentioned, yeah, but you know, the MMORPG genre itself is kind of on the decline. It's dying. And not his exact words, of course, but you know, interpreting it because my Korean is not that great. And I mean, yeah, sure, you can say that that actually is the case because, you know, rise of MOBAs, battle royale games, social media, and other factors really lowered the interest in MMORPGs in general. Not that many kids out there are interested in playing MapleStory for 20 years, you know, just to reach level 300. But as the director of an MMO, to say that the genre
That's
that
true.
your
I do think though the graphics and like the aesthetics of MapleStory is something that's actually really good. Like I wish they would lean towards I don't know, making an actual pretty good game. Like cuz I don't know, like their mobile game, like I played it a bit, but it's just auto everything.
game is in is kind of dead isn't the best move when your community is already up in arms. So that was not that well received either. Now, I wasn't there during the live stream. I just read up on it later, and I can't read Korean that well. I only speak a little bit of Korean, unfortunately, but I do hope nothing too hurtful was said. I mean, Wonky is just human after all. But to get to the main issue, after all these years, the one thing that Nexon, the developer of MapleStory, in case you didn't know that, still hasn't figured out for the game is how to listen to their player feedback and incorporate that properly. Usually, big changes are only introduced after big player outcries or scandals. It's usually either or. Nexon
Yeah.
kinda seems to have mastered
I think that's fair. I think a lot of games, unfortunately, especially MMOs, run into that issue.
the art of ignoring their community concerns and
At
feedback
least
and
WoW
push
did.
changes without taking feedback from the community into account until it's too late or just do nothing. And while this is noticeable in MapleStory Korea with this current situation, MapleStory Global and MapleStory C, we're used to this. We're used to this beating. You know, we know what's up. You know, in my opinion, most of our regional exclusive content has been ignored for years, and just
Yeah.
more stuff, more regional exclusive stuff keeps getting added. That's either broken, doesn't really fit it well into the progression. It just creates a lot of FOMO and not that much fun, to be honest. What about the frequent game crashes and instability issues that players keep experiencing? I'm actually afraid to enter the cash shop just because it might crash again, it might turn into the crash shop again. In my view, Nexon Korea has shown almost no interest in solving issues of their players outside of Korea. And this is just another example of them also not really addressing or talking about the issues of the players that actually are in Korea, which is their main audience.
Yeah, that's weird. Like I've always heard, even back in the day, like 10 years ago, maybe more, when I was really into MapleStory, like they never cared about their gamers outside of Korea. But they seem like they did for the ones in Korea. So this is surprising that this happened in Korea
It was mentioned earlier in a
or
live
South
stream,
Korea. Sorry,
from a while back, that Nexon has plans to keep going with MapleStory for at least a few more decades. But if they want to succeed,
decades.
they really need to take their players and their player concerns seriously worldwide. That's what I think of the whole situation. By the way, fun fact.
I think Nexon should do seasons more often and have fun with them. Like I think most MMOs, especially MMOs that have been around for like a while, like Warcraft, MapleStory. I don't know if Final Fantasy would be a good one for this. I don't see why not to at least try it. But have it where like seasonal um servers. And they kind of have something similar to it, the burning servers. For those who don't know, it's like servers that are temporary that have increased leveling mechanics. Like you get rewards for hitting certain milestones, levels, and stuff like that. Which is actually it is good. Don't get me wrong, but I think they could do way more with it instead of just leveling. Like I don't know, have bosses spawn. Like I don't know. Like it's hard to say. Like I have to think about it more. But I think they could do something like that to invigorate the game. Because I think at this time it's such a grind fest or like a stupid amount of money to kind of catch up to other players that it just isn't worth it for a new player.
Fact, did you know that the MapleStory franchise has already grossed over $4 billion in lifetime revenue? Anyway, that
Yeah.
was what the drama for today was all about. What do you think about the whole situation? And will we see some improvements to endgame gear progression for regular server and any other changes for the reboot server? Anything you would like to see? Like,
Yeah, no, I don't think MapleStory is going to see any changes, if I'm going to be honest. I think it's in semi-maintenance mode. Like they are going to release content and stuff, but it's the core mechanics of the game I don't see changing. Just because they haven't changed and they've gone in the same direction this whole time, that I don't see it going in any other way. I can hope. Like I'd probably go back to the game if they release like seasons and like interesting things like that. Similar to Classic WoW. Like I won't play Classic WoW as is, but like if they release seasons that are actually, gonna change how the game is, then I'd go back for that. But all right, so that's gonna be it for this. It sounds like that dude had an extremely rough day. Man, he's not gonna live that down for a while. Um, but then again, the fact that he had none of that prepared, it's like, dude, if you're gonna have a live stream where you take live questions, how do you not think that the most common issues that people are having aren't going to be brought up? Like that's crazy to me. Like what questions did you even prepare for if not for those?